Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for what is it, the 5th day of August, 2021. Well, I'm looking over the notes from Monday. Monday's reading had to do with controlling impulses and leaving emotions behind that are no longer serving you, likely connected with a lack of impulse control. And the challenge we discovered was not deceiving yourself. And the ultimate, with letting this stuff go and controlling impulse, then you can then reunite, with loved ones, basically. So this seems to be relationship challenges, is what it seemed to be. But we'll see. We'll see if we continue that today. If you're new here, if this is your first time, thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll click subscribe. And also, we're supposed to ask everyone to give it a like. Give the video a like. So I hope you'll do that too. I'm not sure what that has to do with me, but or what I do here. But occasionally Google will send out these little, from YouTube, they'll send out these little, I don't know if they're newsletters or just little suggestions to the people that have YouTube channels, and they're trying to be helpful, I guess, about different things. But sometimes I think it's just to support whatever algorithm they've got running. So I don't know, that's more for them than for me, but maybe not. I don't know. I think that some of the stuff they recommend is doesn't really apply to me and what I do here, and because I don't stream live or anything like that. But some of the recommendations I've seen, they are pretty helpful, really. I guess, it's to their benefit, I guess, in the long run, if people who do these videos succeed at them, that they can get them out there and people can see them and all of that. So I guess, they like to have kind of a team or partnership approach to things, I guess. So anyhow, that's enough shuffling. Let's go ahead and take the rune, and then we'll figure out what the geomancy rune is for the day. Let's see, where's my other? Oh, there it is. Okay. Looking for my elemental geomancy runes. When I do geomancy, you can do it a variety of ways. You could take a handful of peas or lentils or stones or small stones or whatever, and then count them, throw them down and count them. And then an odd number of stones or whatever, peas or whatever, they'll give you a single dot. It would give you this side of it. And if you get an even number, you get, 2 dots. But see, that's just a lot of counting, and I just don't. I'm gonna lose interest right along the way, especially if I'm doing, I've got to throw them 4 times to do a shield chart or whatever. And so basically that's, I just decided, you know what, if we're arranging them in fire, air, water, and earth, why not just have one for each? I don't know. I like organization, I guess. Anyway, Nathis is the rune for today from the Elder Futhark. And I guess I can probably turn it up like that. Same difference. Sometimes I'll put like a little dot. But anyway, especially if there's a little point on there. But anyhow, this is Nathis. This is one of the Norn runes. It's the Norn rune of the future. It's the friction within to manifest. So therefore, it's the future. Something new. I don't know. Maybe this is a new way of interacting if it's relating to Monday's reading. But let's see what the geomancy rune is. Let's see. We have Carcer. Okay, well, Carcer is self-imprisonment, and maybe what was the challenge again? It was not deceiving yourself. So if this is, there's Carcer. If this is a continuation for Monday, then we're still having trouble. That just didn't happen for us over the matter of a couple of days or something. So whatever's going on, in our life is maybe a little more complex relationship-wise. But on the other hand, this could be something else, so we'll see. I just think that the situation on Monday was serious, I think, especially if, we're talking about the benefit of it all being reunion. That must mean something, a schism has happened, something bad has happened in either familial relationships or just, maybe your best friend or something like that. To me, it just felt like it was strong relationships, important relationships. Ones that really matter to you, and they've sort of gone astray, for some reason. So now we know that we have the friction within to manifest something today. Maybe you've resolved things and the reunion's taken place, but it still feels maybe like baby steps, because no one really knows what to do when sometimes things just go immediately back to normal and everybody's having a wonderful time. But depending on what this was, maybe people are willing to come back together, but they're sort of playing it safe a little bit. So if you want to manifest something new, with Nathis, then with Karser, you don't want to stick yourself in another box that put you that separated you from the people you love. And so the box is typically perception based, and so you want to, again, if you really want that reunion, you've got to examine how you got there and what you did to make that happen or to keep it happening. Even if you're somebody that has a hard time letting go of something or accepting or forgiving somebody, accepting someone's apology, because maybe you were really wounded. Maybe what they did was bad. And sometimes, even though you might be able to forgive them on one level, doesn't mean you want to hang out with them. It's that you just want to give yourself some peace and you let them off the hook. It's like, well, okay, but I think we can, table this for a while. So there's lots of ways to do this, right, when you're reuniting with people. But right now, I think what it's saying is however difficult it might be, however difficult that process might be, don't put yourself in the whole. In other words, don't limit yourself by your perceptions, and that's what I think Karser is saying. So let's go ahead and we'll start with our first 3 cards, and then we'll add the challenge card and then the benefit card to close out. Well, we have the Queen of Pentacles. We have a woman in authority. Oops, dropping the card. Sitting on her bench, or her throne outdoors, if you want to call it that. Sitting on her throne outdoors, not her bench. She's got a garland all around her, which I think is really pretty. I like that in a garden. She's looking lovingly at her wealth, so she's quite serene. She's benevolent, she's kind, she's loving, she's caring. She's kind of earth mothery, but there's just that extra little issue with her being wealthy and really apart from everyone. So there's that as well. I think that, when you get into the court situation, I'm more positive about the queens than I am the kings. I think she's more trustworthy. She's kind of the domestic goddess, if you will, of the kingdom. But at the same time, she does still set herself apart. So there's that. So don't forget that element here. That could, and we'll just see, that could be part of the hesitancy to really engage. Either maybe it's an older woman in this equation that is a little hesitant to engage. That could be that, but let's not define that too much yet. Here you have the 6 of Cups, and this is shared abundance. You see that X down there. That's reminiscent of Gebo, the 7th rune of the Elder Futhark, which is shared balanced energy exchange, or the gift of reciprocity. And here you have somebody who's coming by, and this individual, this woman, has got much taller than the other. I can't tell if that's a little old lady. I mean, she's got white hair, but she's very small. Anyway, you see the lilies in each of the cups, and she's just sharing her love and abundance, and the abundance of of just, and it's not something that is I mean, they came from her garden, and so they're the fruits of her labor, and she just wants to share all of that with her neighbors, basically. It's that it's again, it's not showing reciprocity per se, or it could be that it's actually the other way around, and it could be the older woman is the one who's actually, although it looks like this taller person is handing the cup off to the older woman coming by. It could be the other way around. So maybe reciprocity, is inherent in the card. Because I guess we don't really know. I've never interpreted it that way, but it just hit me that, wait a minute, what if it's the other way around? It just seems to me like it's not, though. It seems to me like this one is offering something to the other person. Is how I've always seen this, as a card of offering. Now, the last card, though, is the Ten of Wands. Here we're carrying many burdens. We have a lot of burdens that we're dealing with. The other thing, though, he has his head down, and they're so big that he's sort of bent from it. But at the same time, there's something about this with the 10 energy that reduces to 1. So we're talking new beginnings, and so I think that, for me, I've always read this in a way of not so much many burdens, but that you're doing something that you have the ability to do, and you're heading towards something new. Maybe you're building a home or something like that. You've gathered up all that you need in order to start something new. That's the one energy of this. This is the energy of new beginnings. And so he's trusting in the process. He doesn't even need to see where he's going, because he knows where he's going. He's gathered it all up together, and he's moving on into something new. You see this line of demarcation down here. Here is now, this is maybe heading toward a new place. Maybe he's building a new home, having to do with or maybe starting a new business. It's some new creative opportunity. You could look at it that way. But I think that when you get things settled in your life, and you start sharing that abundance with other people, you can trust the process, that everything's going to turn out, and things that you're beginning or restarting, or you've healed and now you have something new. Because again, we're still looking at the energy of not these here, which is the friction, again, the friction within to manifest, right? Something new. The implication is there's something new, something for the future. And again, we could put the Queen at the end. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in this case. But we've got, together we've got, let's see, a 6 and a 1 is 7. So balance and observation, spirituality, letting things come to rest, which would then align with kind of what the Queen's doing here. She's kind of at rest. So maybe just trust the inner process that you're working through, that things are going to actually turn out here in terms of this reunification. But you actually have to get back to business. Whatever hesitancy that Parser might be suggesting, you have to let it go, and you have to let the Norn rune have more power over whatever fear you might have of letting go some of the stuff that you were maybe thinking that got you to where you were to begin with. Well, you don't want to be there. You want to be back in the fold. You want to be back with your friends. You want to be back with your family. So you have to let things, now that you've done it, you have to let things settle out a little bit, and then either be the older woman there who's receiving the gift, or be the one that's offering it. Engage in some shared abundance, shared purpose, shared direction, some kind of shared experience with the loved ones that you've been, say estranged from. And then trust the process. You have everything you need. You have all the support that you need. You just need to trust the process and move confidently on into what's going to actually make this real and make this reunion stick. Because in all likelihood, it's something you've been wanting for a long time and you just haven't known how to get there. And so now that you're there, have the friction within, have the inner will to continue on and to push past whatever struggle you might be having with it, and know that the struggle is worth it in the end. That realistically, this one energy of the Ten of Wands is really talking about the friction within to manifest something new. You know, we just don't want to restrict ourselves by letting old paradigms and modalities and belief structures get in the way of all of it. In other words, keep the ego out of it and keep spirit present in your awareness. Now let's look at the card that challenges. I'm going to take the 13th card for this one and the one that benefits, simply because I want it to be random. I don't want my shuffling to involve this. Well, the challenge again is to remember to keep the polarity balanced. Now, I think, didn't we have that on Monday, the Lovers? Was the Lovers on that one? Yeah. Yeah, that was part of the first initial three. We had Justice, Eight of Cups, and the Lovers. So it's almost like it's reminding us again that the real challenge is to keep the polarity balanced, to keep our the sense of the ego. In other words, balancing ego and spirit, with the idea of spirit having the greater understanding. So you know, here you have again, we talked about this on Monday. Adam and Eve are representing the polarity, but you see the real strength belongs to the woman, because the mountain is leaning toward the woman. And the tree of knowledge was given to the woman, because look where she's looking. She's looking towards spirit. So her eyes are focused on spirit. Her awareness is focused on spirit, the spirit within, basically. She's not really looking for guidance, because she knows. It's just that the tree of knowledge was given to her. The serpent gave her the knowledge, because Adam is just mostly concerned with her. He's not concerned with matters of spirit. So you could say that he's just, matters of ego. And she's the one that's focused on spirit, which we're going to call the angel, and most specifically the sun above. And that's the challenge, is to keep the ego in check, isn't it? Especially when you're trying to, let go of things that just got in the way, really. Beliefs and things that got in the way and made your friends and family just kind of go, oh boy. And they had nothing to say to you anymore. There was nothing they could say. Maybe the conflict was so great, and what you were talking about was just so anti what they believed, that it was just, the separation was inevitable. But the catalyst for the separation was likely you. And if that was the case, or you're on the receiving end of this and it's someone else that is in this position, either way, there's a sense of reciprocity here, where one side really doesn't know what to do about the other side. And now the other side maybe is trying to come back. Well, there has to be some changes there for that to happen. And again, I think it's, are you going to keep your ego in check? And I think that the Lovers show that. Well, okay, so we have the Five of Cups, and this is disappointment. This is what's going to happen if you don't do this. Instead of the benefit card, we're going to call it the outcome card, I think, because this is not really benefiting you. Unless, you're willing to let go. Again, this is very similar to the Eight of Cups, but there, the decision has been made to walk away from emotions that no longer serve. Here, you're just staring at them. So maybe we'll take one more card and see if we can actually get a benefit. But the end of the day, we see 3 cups spilled out onto the ground. whatever their contents are now spilled out onto the ground. And you have disappointment and loss and grief. We'll let's take one more card. I just want to see. Maybe it's really bringing home that that's the outcome. That if you don't let some things go, that if you don't return to, the loving relationships that you once had with others, maybe the disappointment and grief and loss is just, it's going to be overwhelming. Because when I see this card, the Five of Cups, to me this just feels so overwhelming that he can't do anything. With the Four of Cups, you've got a guy sitting against with his back up against a tree, and his legs are crossed, his arms are crossed, so he's quite defensive. And there's 3 cups sitting on the ground, and he can't really even see them. And then you see another one with a hand in a hand reaching out from the clouds, and he's not looking at that either, so he can't see what's being offered even. And here with the 5, I think it's a process. I think with the 5, you're looking over the things that are never going to be, and you feel grief and loss for it. So whatever he was contemplating in the 4, obviously he's starting the process to let things go. Let's see, the 6 is, again, we have the 6 of Cups in the reading, where once you let things go, you can then and get over the grief, let it go, then you can get back into shared abundance with other people. With the 7 of Cups, you have to be reminded not to keep your head in too much of the clouds and see things realistically. And then in the 8, you're ready to let things go. And that's what we had. We had that 8 of Cups on Monday. Yes, we had Justice, 8 of Cups, and Lovers. And so I think maybe this is a continuation of Monday's reading, just based on that, just based on all the cups. But basically we have 5, 6, and we have the Lovers again a second time. So again, shared purpose. And then, yeah, you've just got to trust the process, and that's how I'm going to, as hard as it might be. Let's take this last card. I'm trying to get some kind of positive outcome here. Oh, well, okay. Healing and reciprocity are yours. We see the winged sun above, the caduceus below. That's healing. 2 is a decision. With a 7 energy, we had 7 and 5. We won't count all this. We have 2 6s because it doesn't really matter at this point. But I can't add all this up in my head. So we have a 2. Let me do that though. I feel like I probably need to. So we've got 6 and 6 is 12, which is 3. We have plus 1 is 4. Plus 2 is 6. And 5 is 11. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I did. All right, so this gives us the master number 11, which is awakening and illumination. It gives you a whole lot of strength to heal whatever issues you've got going that are plaguing you, that you're struggling with, that are harming you, that are harming your peace of mind. And ultimately, you find a way back to one another with healing and reciprocity. So I think that, as long as you keep the ego in check and you keep the belief structures in check, if the estrangement has been based on a bunch of stuff and nonsense, okay, then you have to let it go. And if you're the one that has been contributing this stuff and nonsense, you especially have to let it go. And if you still believe these things, just don't express them. All right, just don't express them to your family and friends, and keep that part of your belief system quiet. And eventually, over time, you'll work all that out. but don't keep stressing people out within the group, within the family, within the friends. Don't keep doing that because they worry about you. You know, if it's the conspiracy stuff that's going on, trust me, you've got families that have been completely torn apart by it. You've got kids that are being interviewed or writing op-eds or whatever going, we don't know what to do about mom. We don't know what to do about dad. And it has broken up families in a way that has just been, I mean, it's so unnecessary and so sad, all to keep somebody in office who doesn't deserve to be there. I mean, think about it. All of this was to do that. All of it can be drawn to that one guy. So I just feel like, you know, we're getting to the point though where there's got to be a sea change for people. You know, the not being around family, particularly if you've got anybody who's dying from COVID or has died from COVID, you haven't been there maybe. And nobody knows what to say to you, so they don't talk to you about it. And so whatever grief you're having, you know, you can't even be with your family to talk about it because they don't know what to say to you. So this has been a really, really difficult time in families. You know, if it's not about the former guy, if it's not that kind of stuff, maybe, you know, you're someone who's anti-vaccination or you don't believe the COVID. Maybe you're on that side of the equation. They don't know what to say to you because they're afraid you're going to give them the virus, you know. They don't want to be around you because of it. You've got parents who will say online, yeah, I've told my son he can't come into the house until he gets his vaccination. He's not going to get one, so he won't be coming in the house. There's this standoff feeling now of enough is enough. And that's what I think that this is all about. So in one fashion or another, whether it has to do with the conspiracy stuff or any of that or the political stuff or not, whether it's just something else that's happened. I just think that it's like this weighty feeling of, okay, we've got to get through this. We've got to get past it. We've got to end this. We need to come back together. That seems to be the energy I'm feeling from it. So anyhow, that's it. And we'll talk again. I guess on Sunday we do esoteric influences. If you watch the correspondences I've been doing Monday through Friday, I do a little short video for Work and Magic. I'm going to still do that today and tomorrow. I'm going to work on the newsletter today and do the forecast for the blog. The stuff on Medium will go up. The stuff on Patreon will go up. If you want to follow me over on Patreon, it's $1 a month or $12 a year, but you don't have to do the whole year. You can do just 1 month. It unlocks everything. And then, you know, if you're busy or something, a couple months down the road, do another one, and then you can see what was there. But if you like to have the stuff, you know, on the day it is, then that's what you see over there. So anyway, if you're interested in that. If you're not, that's fine too. But anyway, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And so I guess it would just, if you want to consider Friday the weekend. So anyway, have a great weekend. And come back on Monday for more Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. And we'll talk more about how runes and tarot and numerology and geomancy and all of that can influence in our lives and make them better. So give us a little insight and all of that. So something to think about. Anyhow, like you don't have anything else to think about. Good Lord. Anyway, thanks for watching. And be good to yourself. Be good to one another. And blessed be.